Bye.
Oh yeah, so you touch one.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh,
I might as well just say the YouTube.
Any.
Alright,
You said it's live.
It's live right now. We live right now too.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he's trying to post it.
So just post www.youtube.com/@Lenderblock. They'll go to our channel. And when they go to our channel,
What's up, y'all? Since we live, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling today?
Let's go. Oh, listen to what I'm saying. So I'm just sharing this real
You look
quick.
like a hieroglyphic on there. Why it look like that? Where you at?
Me?
Yeah, look. It look like you just
ghost.
Yeah, your upper body only though.
I don't know. It's probably
The glare exactly
probably
right
just
there.
too dark.
You're pretty.
Too dark.
Camera settings. You always gotta kind of play with them. YouTube.com.
What is it? www what?
So you can go
YouTube.com/
YouTube.com/@
Lenderblock, just Corp, right?
Yeah,
Lender?
Lenderblock Corp.
Lender. Yep, that's all right so far.
Block Corp.
Yep.
You got Twitter too?
Yeah,
Yeah, Lenderblock.
Lenderblock Corporation. So finally, guys, I want to really clap it up. I'm really excited for this one. As you guys know, my name is Michael Lewis. I'm the CEO of Lenderblock Corporation, and right now we have our Lenderblock podcast. We usually are doing it on Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, but today we're doing it a little bit later on because we have our special guest, very esteemed guest. This is like really the biggest person we've ever interviewed, so I'm very honored to have Roberto Fontanez, aka BERTO, on our podcast today. We're interviewing him to learn all about his upbringing, his inspirations. As you guys see, we are in a store right now. We're at a shoe boutique, a sneaker boutique.
Yes, sir.
And this is one of, if not the largest sneaker boutique in Baltimore right now. Are you have any competitors that really? You don't really have any competitors.
Yeah, there's plenty of people out here doing it. There's stores that just opened up. There's stores that opened up and closed down. There's local resellers doing their thing, you know. So I mean, there's plenty of people pretty much doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, when I first started in 2016, there was nobody. I mean, well, there was a few people, you know, but I mean, now it's just a lot more. Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Yeah, like it was really crazy. I learned a lot about you from other people before I even had to come in this store and see you in person. But 2017, I had a job over by Washington Boulevard, MTA. Yeah. And I used to be going into. You all saw my snaps going into that little job when I was in college. I've been in that store 2017 when the first opened. My manager.
One in the alley, right?
Yeah. Right over by Big Town.
Big Town.
Yeah, the Big Town. My manager brought me in there during lunch. He was like, "Yeah, like there's this new sneaker boutique. I gotta go buy some Yeezys because this weekend I'm going out." And I was like, "All right."
Well, shout out to your manager.
He brought me in there, and I knew about it from back then. And then furthermore,
Shout out to his old manager.
yes, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron, shout out, Aaron.
Yeah.
Appreciate you,
For
Aarin.
real, and I'll make sure he watches this one too. But Aaron walked in there and bought some Yeezys, and I remember never really seeing like such a large sneaker collection all in one spot. It's like there were so many shoes densely packed together in that location. Like this one's a lot more spread out. That one, like, you feel like the shoes might tumble apart.
Yeah, the spot
Jump on you.
Yeah,
even though that
literally,
location was like really like long, you know, big, but it was still smaller than this one, and so we had a lot of inventory, and it was a little difficult trying to get everything placed in that store.
Compact.
That's another reason why we had to end up moving again. I mean, moving locations again. So
Yeah, so my phone died, so I'm using Kane's phone. I literally keep.
I'm about to just hold it like.
I might as well just know your password. You change it later.
Just tap it every time the screen get light.
Yeah, but so I mean, it makes perfect sense. So this whole shoe culture, you were born in Chicago in 1980.
yes, sir.
And I think that's incredible because you were blessed to see the whole Jordan era actually take place in real life. Right?
Most definitely. That was definitely part of my childhood.
Yeah. Did you ever actually attend the games?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Went to plenty of Bulls games, went to plenty championships downtown after, you know, celebrations and stuff. So that's like definitely a part of my childhood for sure.
Real. And you're walking past shoe stores and even some lucky kids in school and they had the Jordans on.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were lucky.
Oh, so they was harder to get back then?
I mean, let's not say harder, it was actually easier to get Jordans back then. They weren't as expensive. There wasn't a resale part of aspect to it. It was more like a collecting thing back then. You're just lucky to get a pair, you know what I mean, or have a pair.
So how was the hype though, like back then, like when they first came out, with everybody wanting them?
Yeah, of course. Everybody always wanted them, especially when you first see them like in a magazine. You know, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get that shoe or whatever. Or you go by a store and it's sitting in a. That's another reason why, when I found this location, it pretty much reminded me of my childhood with the 2 bay windows up in front of the store, because back then, sneaker stores, little mom and pop shops where we used to shop at, basically
just like that.
Just like that. You walk by and you're looking in the window, you're like, pretty much window shopping, window shopping and shit. So you see a shoe and you're like, man, I can't wait to get that, And it back then, it was like, there wasn't release date. I mean, there was release dates, of course, but nobody abided by them back then. So I mean, at least in Chicago, they didn't. So like, a shoe, let's say, is gonna come out on November 1st. You're already seeing it in like October in the window, and then if you got some money, the store is gonna go ahead and sell it to you if you wants to, So it was definitely basically like that.
You saw MJ wearing them.
Oh yeah,
you saw that. He got one right there. It's so tough to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
So your parents were both from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. My dad was born in Puerto Rico. My mom was born in New York.
Cool. And they raised you humbly. Remember, I actually saw some of the other interviews that you've done, and you're talking about how you got one new pair of shoes a year.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely just one pair, and honestly, like, when we did get our one pair, it was basically either for your birthday or pretty much like the beginning of school year. Yeah. For me, my birthday's in October, so this is a birthday present, and and it's the shoe, for the year. And again, I mean, it definitely humbled me. Because my parents were very hardworking. Both of them had multiple jobs when I was growing up. So definitely maybe the person I am today, basically.
It's kind of interesting because you have a very, of course, it's obvious, you have a corporate mindset to this whole fashion, this love of shoes. You applied a very fiscal mindset toward it, because you didn't just take your money and buy shoes. Nick is the same way, flip shoes, right? Mm-hmm. It's not everyone has that mindset to actually see the shoes as an asset that can be sold for more than acquired, especially if you get the timing right. I think that's the coolest part about it. It's like, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't always like that. For me, I mean, for a lot of people, like, you start your so to speak, like, you get into the sneaker culture, and basically you're doing it because you love fashion, you love sneakers, so you're not really looking at the resale part. Like I said, when I was younger, it wasn't about resale. It just grew to that, basically, So when I decided to open up the store, I mean, at that point, of course, there was a resale game there. So that's why I looked at it as a business part of it as well.
In 1999, you were 19 years old, and at that point, you started working at Finish Line.
Yes,
that was
Chicago.
In Chicago, correct. And,
that was at the Brickyard Mall was my first location I worked at.
All right, anybody who knows about the Brickyard Mall, hey, we have a legend right here. Been in there, right?
It ain't there no more. They actually closed it down. They tore it down and made it an outdoor mall, actually.
So, I mean, you have this job at Finish Line. You're 19. That you just get the job, so you just start like collecting shoes, doing stuff, going out.
So before I got that job, again, I was really into like fashion and sneakers, thanks to like friends, my family, people I looked up to. I mean, at that age, you want to look the flyest in school. You know what I'm saying? Sure, like, it's one thing is it builds your self-esteem. You don't get picked on, shit like that. So I was really into that shit.
You make friends off of fashion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hate to say, kids are fucking cruel. Everybody knows that. Especially in school. You're wearing some fucking bullshit on your feet. Someone's gonna make fun of you. And then after that one person makes fun of you, someone else is gonna make fun of you. Someone else,
you're the joke of the day.
Exactly. So that's one thing that I definitely made sure that I was not the joke of the day. Because when I was in grade school, before all that, I was definitely the joke of the day. Because again, my parents, they didn't have much. I had 2 sisters. They worked really hard for all of us. So I remember when I was in grade school, I used to go to school where my mom used to buy me these jogging outfits. Yeah. Back then, when jogging outfits were not cool. They are now, of course, but back then they were not cool. Yeah. There was a place called Venture over this, kind of like a Kmart, kind of thing in Chicago. But she bought me every single color jumpsuit, every single sweatsuit. So every day I wore a different color, sweatsuit. And of course, kids are like, "Oh, you wearing this shit again?"
Sound.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like,
Even though it was a different color.
yeah, even though it's a different color, it don't matter,
Yeah.
So like, I grew up basically getting made fun of. When I was little, I had big ass ears, I had bottle fucking glasses, so I got into a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself led me to a part of my life when I wanted to basically like not get made fun of anymore. And that one step was dressing cool. So I had cousins. I had my sister and her boyfriend, the way they dress. I used to steal my sister's clothes because back then she would dress up like a tomboy. So she used to have.
That used to be the thing too. Females dressing like tomboys.
Basically like the shit she would wear. I would go sneak in her room and fucking steal some shit, wear it to school, and all of a sudden I get home and she wants to kick my ass. Like who the fuck told you to wear my shit? Because she was stealing it from her boyfriend or whatever, or she was just of course she had a job. She bought the shit too. So I was just stealing her shit, trying to look cool and everything, get my nice little pair of kicks too. But
now look at you, the flies in here.
I won't say the flies. I'm not the flies, but I make sure that I got some nice shit on. But like I said, well, to get back to that, when I started working why I wanted to start working at Finish Line was because I love the fashion, I love the sneakers, so I'm like, why not get a job, getting sneakers, around being around sneakers all day.
Yeah.
So like I said, my first job, I started off as an MIT. I was a manager in training. My very first position with Finish Line was that, and then it pretty much grew from there to a store manager position and all that. I remember I could go for hours and days about stories when I first started with Finish Line. But to answer your question, that was the beginning of working
1999 Finish Line. That's the start of it all.
I was going through this. Like when I first started working there, I was in awe. So my district sales manager at the time, his name was Brian Leamer. First day working there, he met me there. It was so funny. We go into the store and he's like, the guy, my store manager, his name was Corey. He goes, "Hey Corey, did we get shipment?" He goes, yeah. He goes, "Come on, go to the back room." He goes to the back room, opens up a box. First thing he does, takes out a pair of shoes and he grabs it. He goes like this, and then he's like, "Okay, now we can start our day. I'm gonna show you." It was funny. It was crazy, but it was funny. And it was funny because that grew on me, and I started doing that shit. Smelling the shoes as soon as they come into shipment. Back then, like sneakers, like I said, it was crazy because I remember my very first store at the Brickyard when I first got there. It was during the sales season. So in Finish Line we have this thing called A-frames. I'm sure people working at going to Finish Line still at the end of clearance sale. End of the year sale. They have these metal things that have all the sneakers on them. Sitting right there are fucking what they called Jordan Retro 9s, Retro 7s, Retro 6, all kind of retros on sale, $29.99, $49.99. They had fucking.
People didn't know what it was. Or
no. Back, like I said, it wasn't a resale thing, and then not everybody was like that particular one. But I remember seeing them on those A-frames. Those fucking DMP packs. Golden. Sorry, GMP pack. DMP pack. Sorry, sitting there. It's funny, and then of course. Prestos, Nike Air Prestos, because back then that was the age of it. It's like I remember getting Prestos because again, wanted to be comfortable on my feet all day. I got every single Presto. It was on sale for $19.99. Then I got my 30% off discount. Well, it was 70% off, so or up to 70%. I remember. It ended up being $14.99. Then I got my third. I got Prestos for like $10 basically, So I bought every single one that was on there for work, It was like one of my
$100 for a whole collection of Prestos.
Seriously. Again, back then it was definitely different. Definitely different. How it is compared.
And then now, so you're working at Finish Line in Chicago, and then you all of a sudden you're like Baltimore. Did you already have a family by then when you came to Baltimore?
Yeah. I already had my family.
So you had a family in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Well, that's not my whole story. From Chicago, moved to Kansas. From Kansas, yeah, from Kansas to Kansas, I moved to California. California, I went to Arizona, Texas, and then here. My
What
ex was military,
Okay.
so moving around a lot and everything. So then ended up being here, and then when we got here in 2011, I got divorced from her, and then I basically was gonna move back, and then I decided. Actually, the reason why I decided to stay was my sister ended up moving here, got a government job, because I was gonna be here alone. But when she moved here, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just stay."
Yeah.
And then I went back to work for Finish Line actually,
Yeah.
because I worked for Finish Line from '99 to 2006 in Chicago.
Yeah.
When I moved out of Chicago, I stopped working for them. When I moved to Kansas, I actually started working for Foot Locker at the distribution center, and in Junction City, Kansas. I worked at the Foot Locker distribution center. I was a machine operator supervisor for the second shift department. Second shift of the thing, and then from there, again, we moved to California. From there, I didn't work at all. I was into doing photography. That was my job, and I started playing poker too. So I was playing poker professionally as a side hustle because we moved around so a lot, so I couldn't find a job. You know, no one wanted to hire somebody knowing that I was gonna just move again. So I ended up playing poker and doing photography on the side. And then from there, when I moved here, again, we got divorced, and I started working back for Finish Line.
Did you? Okay, when you went from working in the retail store to working behind the scenes in the distribution center, how did your perception of retail change, or corporate retail?
It really didn't. I mean, it didn't change because it's basic. It actually grew.
Yeah.
You know, from retail to the back part of it, and of course working for a completely different company because Foot Locker and Finish Line works completely different. You know what I mean? So again, it was a learning curve. So when I first got the job, I mean, I had the experience, and that's why I got hired at first. And then after that, it just all grew. It grew from there.
Yeah. But you're understanding exactly how you keep your merchandise in the back, how you circle things around, how you organize, how you end up. You already have the floor experience of selling to people. So you kind of every experience that people have in their lives, you already see that it adds on a very tangible bit of experience and wisdom. It all comes together. You see, he's combined years of experience in traveling around doing different things. Even think about the photography, the photos that go on the website, the layout of the store, having an aesthetic, a point of view, and the way to plan things out.
Together, basically.
Yeah, it came together. You can
Goes
never,
hand in hand.
hand in hand. You can never overlook the value of any of your experiences because they all come together to make you think the way you think. So I find it amazing to kind of see. Wow, you went all the way to California, Arizona, back. What was the state you went to between? Kansas. What is in Kansas?
Nothing. The reason I moved to Kansas was my sister. Again, she was in the military. She ended up being in the military. When she got out of the military, she ended up staying right there in that city, Junction City, which is the base is called Fort Riley, and she ended up staying there. When she moved there, my other sister, who passed away, she ended up moving out there, and then like a couple years later, my mom and dad moved out there, and I was in Chicago by myself. I'm with my
I just realized what you were saying though too, because to bring that back up to talk about Foot Locker for real. Junction City be the name that's on every
that's where the distribution
that's the main
center is.
distribution center.
That's crazy that you been there.
Well, yeah.
And like when I used to break there, I used to always see that
Junction City.
It's a little ass town. Basically, the nearest big town next to Junction City is Manhattan, Kansas, and then after that's Topeka, which is like an hour out from there.
So Kansas City, not the main city?
Kansas City is actually not in Kansas, it's Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Kansas is just Kansas. Kansas City is actually in Missouri, which is the next state.
Whole other state.
Yeah. But
that's the only thing that comes to mind when I think of Kansas. Is
That's
Kansas
a funny
City.
thing. I
It's
did
not-
not
it's
know
not
that.
even the same.
You know that this whole time too?
It just occurred to me. Yeah, that's like Kansas City, Missouri. That's it rings.
So the Chiefs is not in Kansas then?
Yo, what?
So in Kansas,
I just
actually,
fucked my
everybody's really into, like, if they're into sports, they're into the colleges out there. So like K-State is really huge. Kansas is really, Jayhawks is really huge. You know, they go crazy for that shit.
That's like Kentucky. They said there's nothing in Kentucky but Kentucky. the school for
Yeah.
it, you feel me? But they starting to die down. Calipari not there no more, so.
Yeah, you think about it, it's just the name, you know. You got Martin Luther King Boulevard everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Kansas City, Missouri.
It's like it's a Baltimore and
Baltimore
other
too.
states for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and Woodlands. Yeah.
We got a Phoenix, Maryland.
Yeah,
It's really depends on what they what gravitates towards. I
Yeah.
guess monetizing the name.
So I find it so crazy as well because we skipped over a lot of steps here. I mean, when you first got to Maryland, were you selling out of South Baltimore a little bit and you went to Towson? You had a little store in Towson.
When I started working back for Finish Line, it was in 2011.
Yeah.
My very first store that I had to go train in was Annapolis. I did train in Annapolis, and I actually lived in Annapolis while I was training there.
Okay.
And then, or retraining.
That's the southern aspect. That's the aspect of the stock.
Yeah.
I see some.
Yeah. So I started off in Annapolis as not at MIT, as a manager in MIW, which is a manager in waiting. For Finish Line back then, that's what the thing was called, MIW.
Waiting to get a store.
Waiting to get a store, because I was already a store manager before, so basically I already know everything, but they didn't have a store open for me yet. My district manager that I...
mess up.
Yeah. Well, when I first started working for Finish Line, when I got hired, my district manager, his name's Rob Carter, he hired me and let me know what store I was gonna get, because he already knew he had to make some moves. But of course I had to get retraining and everything. So again, Annapolis was where I started, and then I trained there for I think it was 2 months, and then I got my very first store, which was Marley Station. Marley Station was dwindling because the manager there sucked. So I took that store, and I gained $1 million that very first year that I was there. So Marley Station was my very first store. Yeah, I mean, I already knew it. Yeah.
So what you change to take a store?
People. More times than not, it's people. When you first, if you're in retail, let's just say you're a retail manager, right? And they give you a new store to manage because they say that it sucked, it's not working out, More times than not, it's because it's the people. They've lost focus. They don't have a good manager, so they don't want to work anymore. So basically, I changed the people to begin with. Not everyone, but the majority of it, and it just went from there. My staff liked working for me. You know what I mean? So that's what helped. So then from Marley Station, I quickly got promoted. I think it was actually the fastest promotion they said before. It was less than a year, and I got promoted to White Marsh.
Okay.
And then from Marley Station, I went to White Marsh. White Marsh, I got promoted again within a year to Columbia.
Yeah, that's definitely promotion. To go from Marley Station, White Marsh, Columbia. Yeah.
And then from Columbia, got to Towson. And then from Towson is when I decided that I wanted to, exit from the company and do my own thing. Yeah. So then in 2016 is when I opened up the store in Towson, in that little spot on Allegheny Avenue.
How many square feet did you have?
That store was pretty much the size of where we're sitting right here, right now.
Just the front part
this is exactly how
just
big it was.
Just a foyer of his current
It had two different rooms to it, but basically it was pretty much the size of this right here.
That's crazy.
And when I first opened up that store in 2016, it lasted 4 months until I couldn't fit anything else in there, which I had to start looking for another location, which I found in Pigtown on Washington Boulevard. Yeah. Now, 4 months, 5 months, but I still have a year lease over here. So when I found the spot in Washington Boulevard, I quickly moved there, and I still had 6 more months left on my lease in Towson. So I had to pay double rent.
Oh, wow.
Wow, but the store was doing very well, so I actually was able to survive. I was doing it all by myself too at that time.
Yeah, because I read you in the part that I was supposed to be doing this with you.
Yeah.
From Finish Line to 2010.
Yeah.
What happened?
So that was one of my friends. The whole thing was that we were supposed to do it together, and then last minute, job security was more important, so he decided to stay where he's at. which he's doing amazing right now. So I mean, it is what it is. And you know, I'll be honest. It's pretty much like everything happens for a reason. I believe that with everything I do. If he was to be in the business at the beginning, I don't think it would have survived, because having to pay both of us for us to be able to live, take care of our families at the time, you know, it wouldn't have happened if it was both of us having to do it. It worked out because it was only me, and I was able to pay my bills, pay my personal bills, and you know,
I had to pay no employees.
Exactly.
So is Rob
again
the
reason? Yeah, my ex DM Rob is actually.
That's what that is. I thought so.
When he was in the other day, he's actually a realtor now. He left Finish Line himself, and now he's a realtor. He's actually sold me both of the houses that I own. He sold both of them. He sold.
That's
both
really a storybook right there.
Yeah, he's one of my really good friends.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys.
There's a lot of people that can't work for him because of the way he is. But it's only in my opinion. They can't work for him because they're too they don't have thick skin, you know. They take it everything they take personal, and they shouldn't, you know what I mean. But he's a really good guy. He'll go to bat for you if you're doing your job, you know, when you're working for him and everything. And again, he's still a good friend of mine to today.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a great relationship right there.
That's how it is. Like going
I'm
through.
gonna get that from Rob. I mean, like you said.
Well, again,
if
you were working, if he was working for you, and I mean, people, I don't know if people seen this and they know who Rob Carter is, they could be like, yeah, fuck that guy. People, we talk about it all the time. There was one time in Colombia, that I was actually gonna fight him.
Rob?
Yeah, because me and him got into it. Me and him got into it really bad, and I was actually
got close, of course.
Yeah. No, I mean we were close, but not as close as we are now.
Right.
But yeah, we were about to fight in the back room because he got on my fucking nerve one day about some shit. I don't even remember what it was now, but it was because a visit was gonna happen and my store looked like shit, you know. But you know, I took it personal, and then that happened. But I was actually gonna quit. I was gonna quit when my assistant manager got there. Christian, you know Christian that came in. Anyways, I was gonna quit as soon as I told him. I go, listen. I told him, I go, here's my fucking keys. As soon as Christian get here, because I'm not gonna leave the store without a manager right now. Yeah. I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna leave the store alone. As soon as Christian gets here at 2:00. I'm gone. I'm done. He's like, all right, cool. Because he was pissed too. He was pissed too. And then Christian gets there, and I tell him what happened and everything. And I give him my keys, and then Rob's like, come on, man, let's go sit outside in the food court. Let's talk. We sat down talking.
He seemed like the type he'd be like, man, this store looks fucking piss poor.
You see how it is.
But
No, not piss poor. He's like, this fucking store looked like shit.
Yeah, but it's dope because you met him there, and you feel me, like now y'all help each other a lot. You grew out of the company, and so did he, and y'all eventually universes crossed paths.
Definitely.
That's dope.
Like I say, he's one of my good friends.
For sure. And y'all working with BERTO now. I'm putting them on the spot. How is it? How is it? How do you like working with BERTO?
Yeah, man. How is it?
I mean, for me,
how is it?
Terrible.
I mean, for me, I not to outshine, you know, who the podcast is about, but when I first started, I was looking for a job, and I wasn't even planning to work nowhere. You feel me? I was just, you know, came here through another mutual friend, and I would just be here and help out when he had a pop up.
Just for the love of the culture, the shoes.
Yeah, and then you know, I would come here every now and then, and, you know, sell shoes to the shop, but I never really had a relationship with BERTO like I guess other people did. So then I met a friend, and I would be here just helping out or whatever. And I just put my resume in and I got it. And you feel me? I wouldn't have, you know, I would rather work here than another job because it's like, you know, BERTO, for me, it's all about respect. And then you get what you want out of respect. So BERTO, he makes sure, like, in a loving way that people around him respect him. And if you don't, you feel me, like, you're going to see his wrath because it's like, that's not the type of guy he is. You feel me? Like, it's like, he a good guy at the end of the day, but don't take advantage of it. So I always attracted people like that because that's kind of how I am. You know? Like, so like working here, you know, it's anything that somebody could ask for if you're a stand-up guy. You know? Like,
if you love the culture.
Yeah, I mean,
love these
it's
shoes.
Not even about the shoes. You feel me? Like I could go out. You know, a lot of people resell their own shoes. You feel me? But being here, I don't even have that need to want to make the money off the shoes. You feel me? Because this is enough. You Like even when I work like full-time jobs, I would rather be here. You know, when I was working a full-time job, I was like, bro, I'm trying to just work every other weekend just because I want to be here. You feel me? Like the type of person he is, it makes you want to like make sure the shop is at its fullest potential because you know you respect the type of guy he is. He's a good guy.
It's
So
empowering to you
I want to
too.
see, I want to see his shop grow because I know he's there for me if I need something. And anybody else who walk in because I've seen it with my own eyes. You feel me? Like so, it's just like. It's just a good energy. It's bigger picture shit. Yeah. Just being around him as a person. Like even when the shop closed, you feel me? Like Berto's my son's goddad for a reason. You feel me? Like, and my girl will tell you like I didn't have a hard time picking it. I knew who I wanted it to be, but it just had to be some like a genuine person who like he'll do something for you and forget about it, and I'm not expecting nothing in return. You feel me? Like so, it's just about the type of person I can be around.
I'm sure Nick, you feel the same way, right?
I'm about to say I feel completely the same. Like this is my brother. I don't even look at him as my manager no more. Like this is my brother. I love him. Like literally love him from the bottom of my heart. 1, 2. I wasn't even supposed to work here for real. Like it just so happened. But I believe in like genuinity for real. Genuine relationships, like we were saying. So basically, a friend of ours, Ryan, you know Ryan. Ryan's on y'all podcast
Ryan's
too.
the first person that brought me in here for real.
Yeah, so
Ryan was on the podcast on the 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago.
So basically, how that started was
Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan
Lee, yes sir.
Definitely, Ryan used to work here too for sure.
He actually replaced me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy because listen to the lineup. Ryan replaced him, and I replaced Ryan.
Yeah.
We all still all cool for real. You feel me?
Yeah.
But now how I started basically was I was working for Amazon delivering, probably like one of the top drivers in my company for real. But it was during COVID and it's like hot outside. I'm not about to wear a mask. Like I'm care more about my health than if there's no one walking out to take the package out of my hand. If I just have to sit the package at your door, I shouldn't get in trouble for sitting the package without wearing a mask. You feel me? So I got caught up in that and they fired me for some little stuff. And I actually started to hang out with Ryan more. And it was just like, I'm not going to say it was weird, but it was like I went to high school with Ryan. We was hella cool. And we would hang out here and there. But like, it was just something that was telling me like, might even be God for real, you feel me? Something telling me like, just start hanging with Ryan a little bit. So I'm hanging with Ryan coming down here, Federal Hill area. He just like, bro, I think I'm about to move to LA. And I'm like, damn, I should take your job. He was like, shit, go ahead. And I'm like, I can't do that. I work at Amazon. Like, I'm not about to quit Amazon. Like, this is a real job, benefits and all that. You feel me? But sad to say, 2 weeks after I was playing around with Ryan, I got fired for real. So I'm like, damn, like, I'm like, damn, like, I was playing about it, but now I'm really about to try to work there for real. So I even still was applying for other jobs. Didn't really think I was gonna work here. But after I met BERTO and gave him my resume, like, I realized like this is probably where I need to be because I've worked for Foot Locker.
I've
been doing it.
Really love working.
Yeah, like bro, I love to be here every day. Like I will. If I can sleep in here, I'll sleep in here. You know what I mean? I sleep in this motherfucker.
We even got footage of him sleeping in here.
We got footage of him sleeping in here. So yeah, saying that to say, but no, literally I've slept in here before. You feel me?
That shows the love that BERTO has for everyone that comes in the store. Whether you are working here, helping him to grow his whole empire, whether you're just coming here. I'm coming here all the time. I don't say all the time. I come in here at least once, twice a week. And I don't have that many Jordans. I put on one of my few pairs of Jordans a day. And I bought these Oreo 4s in here.
That's a good pair.
I bought these Oreo 4s from here. You probably remember when you stocked up. Yeah, you probably remember. I bought So it's crazy. I bought several shoes from here. I'm not even hugely into sneakers, but I like a couple pairs.
But like your style, though, you like what you like.
I'm a firm believer as you rock what you like. You don't gotta be all up in the hype. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was saying that to someone, a customer the other day and everything. You know, like, and she said it. I'm like, I agree completely with you. You know, you like, you rock what you like. It don't matter if it's all hyped up or it don't matter if someone else is wearing it.
It make you feel good. Wear it.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's why a lot of people like being customers here too, because it's like. A lot of other places you go, they'll make you feel less than because you're not really, I guess, it's hip to the culture.
Yeah.
But it's like here, it's just like genuine people. Like you might get a joke ahead, that's just what we do. But at the end of the day,
like even being managers and Foot Lockers and saying like my part timers, you selling a shoe that's not really known. They just trying to sell it, get the customer out of there. But you sell a hot shoe, they might try to show you a whole fit for real. You should be doing that with every single thing for real. Making the customer really, make them feel like they look good. Because let's just say, you get somebody that don't like stuff like this and they come in here, they don't really have the self-esteem, like, yeah, I'm not really into these. You give them the confidence, might be your best customer for it, just from the relationship, man.
I might not be cool enough to wear these.
Yeah, but if we make them feel comfortable, tell them, like, bro, you feel like you like those shoes? Like, you go out this door and you feel cooler, you cooler when you walk out this door, you feel me?
And I used to think that stuff was, like, cliche, but working at, like, shoe stores and stuff, like, really engaging with your customer, you know, relating to them, that really will make them.
It's a skill set.
Because a lot of times people ain't confident in the stuff that they buy. So like,
it's crazy. Like, I want to get into really the transition from Pigtown. I've been in that Pigtown store 2017.
Sure.
How did you say I want to expand again? Really, a mile and a half away.
Those are a couple things that brought me to that, because one, again, we ran out of like space in there again. It was kind of like it was cramping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But another thing, the owner of that building didn't want to do any kind of upkeep to it. We kept on getting floods in there when it rained, and she just didn't want to fix it. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer in, you know, reading my contract with her and everything, my lease and everything, and she should have been doing it. She was just a slumlord, no offense, and it is what it is. So she didn't want to fix anything. So I'm like, cool, I got to get out of there. So it was funny. I was looking on locations online real quick, and I seen this place, and what drew me again were those 2 bay windows, and I was just like, fuck it, let me just go check it out. A blessing in disguise. When I got here, you know, the woman that was showing me the location, when I first got here, had all of these slat walls already here, had those 2 bay windows. I'm like, this is where we're supposed to be. And I didn't find this out until like after I opened up, because again, I wasn't talking to anybody in the area or nothing until we opened up. But this location actually used to be a shoe city. Back in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, this used to be a shoe city. So
perfect.
Again,
it's how everything played together.
It was a sneaker store before, and it's a sneaker store now. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up.
10 times better. It be going to
So,
show you that.
yeah, bro.
And a lot of stuff already written. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's meant to be a shoe store.
No, for real. So I mean, look, I'm just impressed by the whole entrepreneurial mindset that you've taken on, the way you've acted on it. Of course, you know, Lenderblock Corporation, I have a large entrepreneurial spirit myself. So making software that allow people to lend and borrow peer-to-peers is my way of going about expressing myself entrepreneurially, getting people who believe in this mission to help me achieve those goals and supply my service to more people and empower more people, serve more people. It's just, I get it. But every time I learn, really, Berto, I do have a ton of respect for you, because I appreciate it. Thank you. I have a ton of respect.
I mean, we've done business, we've done pop-up shops for you in here, and I love you. You know, I love it.
Energy great when you're
Definitely.
Appreciate it. First,
I love your drive, man.
Thank you. Like the first pop-up we ever did was here, and I appreciate you even letting us have our little brand in the store. And now, for real, it was cool, man. And you know, we got our stuff on here. We rep it like it's Gucci, but you know,
Got you.
it
is yours.
It's
Gucci.
This is our Gucci. You know, it means a lot to us. You have more stores in other locations, right? Outside of Baltimore as well.
We have a store in Texas, Victoria, Texas. We just opened up. That's actually, we reached our 1-year anniversary just now on the 1st of January.
Wow.
So that's
right.
open up there as well. Doing very well.
Thank you. Incredible. Victoria, Texas. If you're in the area, stop by. If you're connected with a Baltimore legend, a Chicago legend, really stop by if you're in the area, Victoria, Texas.
And my son runs that store.
Hey. How old is your son?
He's 19, about to be 20 actually.
Just like you, 19, starting working at his first retail store.
I think.
Ethan, I hope you ain't watching.
about to be 21, whatever. But yeah, he as a matter of fact, I'm very proud of him, because opening that store was not my idea. It wasn't my idea at all. It was his. So he handled everything that had to be done. The only thing I did was secure the lease. He found the place. He contacted attorney out there. He contacted the tax people out there. He contacted the sign people. He did the whole work. He contacted the person to go check out the location. He did everything there. All I did was go over there to secure the lease, of course, because of his age and everything. So I'm very proud of him. He's doing an amazing job over there. But yeah,
there's nothing that makes a person prouder, or really a man prouder than their son following in their footsteps.
And again, it wasn't anything that I kicked into him like, hey, you're gonna do this. He wanted to do it. He was working for Champs by himself. His first job he got was at Champs. He did a really great job working for Champs. He was becoming an assistant manager there. Was supposed to become an assistant manager and a store manager, but they gave him the runaround because of his age. They promised him a lot of things from when he graduated high school, and he's actually in college right now too, and he's running the store. But when he got into college, they said he was going to become a manager there, and then all of a sudden they said no because of his age, and then the person that he hired to become the manager, the assistant manager, they had him train them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How can you have a sales associate train someone to become a manager? Because he was doing manager duties. So he's like, he told
just
me
like me in my face, right?
Exactly.
He
Like
said
that.
he didn't even work for the company. It was just like he
came out from the streets. They hired him out the streets. So that definitely was left a sour taste in his mouth. And he said, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, all right, do what you want to do. Figure what you want to do, and that's it.
Shout out
and then he came to me with his, with a business plan on how to, open up a store over there. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
You saw his own individualism in the way that he was taking all those challenges on, all of the administration. So you had full faith in him.
No, for sure. Like I said, he did everything. I secured the lease, and I helped him set up the store, and he's been running it ever since.
That's great. That's great. Has he had any moments like when you were over, any scare moments like when you were over at Pigtown location? Look, I have a quote that I read from one of the articles written about you.
Oh shit! It must be true.
No, for real. I read a quote entailing your first experience at Pigtown. You're just talking about how stressful it was when you were paying both the leases and everything, the double lease, and you said, "Well, this is written in second person, right? Third? No, it's third person. So it's He soon received a sign. Speaking of you, he soon received a sign that eased his anxiety. However, shortly after opening in Pigtown, someone cleaning out a nearby home asked if he bought memorabilia. FONTÁNEZ, BERTO, told the customer that he did not. But the customer described that he had a Michael Jordan poster that he found in his house. And then he had tons of Michael Jordan memorabilia, but he already had tons of Michael Jordan memorabilia, but he didn't have the specific poster of the Jordan Wings 6 foot by 2 foot poster. And the guy was just trying to sell it to you for $20, and you told him, "Look, in the best conscience I have, I have to give you $100." You had to force him to take $100.
I didn't have to force him. He took it right away. But I offered him. I told him, I'm not giving you 20. I'll give you $100 for it. And he's like, "Oh man, all right, cool. You know what I mean?" And it was funny because when that day happened, when he told me about it and he described what it was, I knew exactly what it was. I knew it was the Wings poster that I used to see in my dentist's office in Chicago growing up, and I always wanted that poster. I could never find it for a decent price actually. So when he came and approached me, I'm like, literally, I wanted to follow him. I wanted to go with him back to the house.
What else do you have?
No. The reason why is because I'm like, I'm never gonna see this guy again. I'm thinking like this. He might say, "Yeah, never come back." So I'm like, all right, if I gotta let it go, if it's meant to be, meant to be. Yeah. And sure enough, a few hours later, he came back with it, and exactly what it was. It was the Wings poster.
See, like I take that like that's just the best energy to give, because it's like, even though he said he wanted 20, you gave him more. Like, people would never forget stuff like that. You feel me? Like, that leave a mark on people.
You knew you could sell it for 1,000.
Well, it wasn't even the fact that I wanted to sell it. It was the fact I wanted it for myself, and I kept it. I still have it to this day. Same back.
It's the one.
That used to be in the window.
Yeah, I still have it. I'll never get rid of it. It's something from my childhood that like I said, when I was a kid, I used to go my aunt was a dentist. Well, Yeah, she was a dentist assistant. I mean, I was young, so I didn't really get that shit. But she was working in the office and everything. And every time I would go over there, they would, whenever I had like something going on, go there. It was right there in Chicago.
Hours looking at that.
Yeah, I mean, I would go. Yeah. Honestly, I would go over there. Sometimes just to say hi to her and then to look at the poster. You know what I'm saying? Like walking around. So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Inspiration, and that probably means something to you, even maybe subconsciously, about just holding true to what you want to accomplish. Because when you had that first sale or first purchase of that memorabilia, it must have meant something to you to say, "Damn, I'm going out on a limb here, but this is hope. It showed me like this is gonna go just fine."
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I gave you a fun fact about you saying you gave him 100 and he only asked for 20. I've done it in here before by mistake, buying shoes from somebody. Like, I just asked him, like, well, what numbers did you have in mind? It's like, I already know what I have in mind, and they told me, like, a number under what I had, and I still gave them a number that, because it's like,
because we're not assholes.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
You know, we definitely pay fair. That's one thing about, I think that's one thing that people know about our shop is that we pay fair. We're not assholes. We're not going to lowball you no matter what. It kind of like, doesn't make me upset. Well, it kind of makes me upset sometimes. When people, I shouldn't say that. I should say like, there's people out there to this day that still, we've been open. It's coming up on 7 years we've been open. We're gonna be open. This May is 7 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't know about 9 out of 10 condition, and when they find out about it, what they say is like, "Oh well, I don't want to go over there and you lowball me, because they don't know us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that know us. You're not gonna get lowballed when you come over here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that don't know us still, and that's comes out their mouth, and it hurts my feelings, because that's something I would never do. We always pay fair market price when we're buying something from us.
Some people don't necessarily understand the, not selling etiquette, but really the selling etiquette, because it's like, even you coming down to unlacing a shoe for real, that's not brand new anymore. Popping like the lace bag off, even if you never wore it. Like, some people don't know little stuff like that. Might take off $20, $30 off of what we would have offered you.
To this day, there's people that think like, if they wore the shoe once, it's still brand new, which it is. And we get it all the time. Like, we get phone calls, we get DMs, we get people that come in here like, "Hey, yeah, I'm selling this brand new shoes." And that's another reason why we don't give quotes sometimes, because then you're upset when you come into the store and the shoe's not brand new no more. There's people like, you heard a price and then you tell me it's brand new, but when you come in, it's not brand new no more. You know what I mean? So, like, it is what it is. But they'll be like, "Oh, these are brand new. I've only worn them two times." I'm like, I hate to say it, but that's not brand new anymore and everything. You got that?
Looking for an outlet.
Yeah.
It's in the corner.
Put this over and then open up the
It's not one there.
My bad.
Quick little intermission, he just walking away.
Yeah, we just hooking up the computer real quick.
That's
what happens when it's live. Yeah, it's live, right?
Plug it in.
You gotta take the good with the bad when it's live. It's all life, right? Real life.
Ain't no everlasting battery.
No, it's not. I know that. Yeah.
Got it?
Good thing Kane has sharp eyes. Connecting. It's probably just going to act like it had poor service for a couple seconds. Now we're still live right now.
All right,
Connected. It's probably just... Yeah, we're still live right now. You see it up there?
Alright, cool. Ready?
We
back.
Yes, sir.
Picking up the video just loading right now.
Yeah.
Oh, when they jump back, they like, damn, it went from 3 to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Video's just trying to catch up. Yeah, I'm gonna learn how. I want to use Streamlabs for my podcast. Y'all gotta come on mine and talk more about your platform too.
I'd love to. Streamlabs is the best way because you can really set up exactly how you want it to appear.
Well, not even that. Like, that could be an episode. You don't even have to. I ain't gonna say you can't edit it, but that live stream goes straight.
We could do it more like a collab. You feel me? Like,
That would be cool.
feel me? Like that'll be our first live stream.
Powered by the Lenderblock.
Yeah,
I'll be lit. I'm with that.
that'll definitely be cool. Give a different take on everything. Right, yeah.
Okay, vamos. Yep.
It's live.
Cool. Perfect.
And it's my 10 page. You know I was gonna start saying we should do that for like weekends for real. Part of the day, the hour or two. For sure.
We can put it on the 10 live. Never too late. But
What he was saying from like the jump for real.
Oh yeah. No, but I mean, we have so much inspiration just from this call. I mean, from this podcast so far. Those of you who've been watching all the way through, we appreciate it. We did just drop service for like maybe 20, 30 seconds there, but we're right back live again, right here with Roberto Fontanez, BERTO, owner of 9 out of 10 Sneaker Boutique, right here in Fed Point. Fed Hill.
No, he going next.
It's Saturday. He's going to Fed.
After this podcast, a break from Lenderblock.
Liquor block.
No, but look, man, I'm just really honored to even be in the position to interview you, BERTO. I'm very honored, and we're gonna wrap it up very soon. But I just want to let y'all know once more, those of you who have been live. Well, this is the Lenderblock podcast. We're interviewing BERTO. He's been a long-time supporter of the Lenderblock Corporation and our two software applications, the Blender Platform and Partner Platform. So real quick, what these two apps do. The Blender platform allows members to lend and borrow peer-to-peer. You can create your own credit line as a borrower, choosing your own interest rate and minimum monthly payment. Put this credit line out on a platform where other members acting as lenders can choose to lend to your credit line if they deem it profitable and they deem you to be a credible borrower based on your borrowing credibility statistics, such as your frequency of repayments and other statistics that can help a person ascertain whether or not it's a good idea to lend to you or not. This is completely peer-to-peer, and we use collateral to protect against borrower defaults, so your credit limit will be equal to the amount of collateral placed in your credit line. We currently have funding to increase people's credit lines with no money down. We're putting down free collateral in our borrowers' credit lines, so just become Blender verified so you can become viable to receive these funds or eligible to receive these funds. The Blender Verified Registry Program, right here, Kane is a guy who actually performs all the verifications and reviews of the applications which come in and verifying of the supporting documents which validate the information which you put on your verified registry forms. So we've received our applications for 2023 so far. We have around 10 to 15 applicants who will be receiving funds in the coming weeks, and we encourage you to join their ranks and also benefit from this pro bono program. Once again, you can receive a free credit line on the Blender platform with no money down, simply by becoming Blender verified, which is all doable through our application, the Blender platform. And the partner platform allows you to do something very similar. It lets you participate in what we call a partnership, which is a rotational, interest-free fund saving group through which you can invite your family and friends, and you all can contribute cyclically to a pool. Let's say you're contributing $100 a month, and each month one of you will have a turn to withdraw some of the pool, and you won't have to contribute. So let's say there are 10 of us, or really just the 5 of us right here, and we all contribute $100 a month, but I have the first turn. I invite everyone in, so I have the first turn. I will have a turn to receive $400, which is the sum of everyone else's contributions. Next month, Kane has a turn. He will have a turn to withdraw $400. By the time 5 months have passed, we all will have had a turn to withdraw $400, and we all will have given $400 as a sum. We can go around as many times as we want, as many multiples as 5 in terms of months for the length of our total partnership, and we can all go around as many times as we want. And as long as we all contribute to each other and don't cheat each other out of contributions, we'll have the full value to withdraw. If you do cheat someone out of a contribution, you'll get a deduction from your withdrawable balance when it's time for you to withdraw again. However, this app is very trust-based. You need to invite people to your partnership that you know and trust, people that you see on a regular basis, whom you can hold accountable, as opposed to the Blender platform, which is not trust-based at all. You don't need to know who you're lending to. You just have to make good financial decisions that are prioritized toward making a return on your investment. Because we use collateral, there's no risk. for the Blended platform. Partner platform, invite your friends and family only. These are the two apps that we have to enable different types of inter-peer lending and borrowing. And remember that our mission is to free people of dependence upon over-leveraged financial institutions. We want people to be able to lend and borrow peer-to-peer to their communities rather than having to go through over-leveraged financial institutions, which have all the power to use your money to earn more money, and they don't give any commissions of what they've earned from your money. If we all wanted to withdraw all of our balances from Bank of America, everyone who has an account with Bank of America at the same time, that money would not be present because they are busy reinvesting your money and not giving you any cuts of it. Maybe a sub 1% annual interest rate for your savings account. So you need to think about freeing yourself of the typical over-leveraged system through capitalism of lending and borrowing and take a more social approach. I'm a pro-capitalist, which I'll say in every single podcast, but we have to also remember that the power comes from social interactions and not simply through going through financial intermediaries like Bank of America or Chevy Chase. You can do these types of things the way humans have been doing it for thousands of years, which is just person to person to person. That's the message. Yes. Sir. And
makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's what this is all
I
about.
completely understood. You speak so well, bro. Like that's what I really love about
he ain't
you.
reading this off a thing over here.
Nah,
he
ain't
got
no
all that in his head.
I tried to
Straight bars,
Bishop.
freestyle.
Yeah, try.
Bishop.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And we just try to get business owners on board that we think can benefit from this and kind of showing our support of small businesses in Baltimore. BERTO's bigger than we are, to be honest, but we want to show support to him as well because he is in Baltimore and he's a Baltimore staple. He's a very successful Baltimore entrepreneur who's growing day by day by day. And if you
Thanks to you guys.
come and support, especially those of you who already support and know the store, come and support some more. This is a guy who loves everyone who comes into a store, whether you're spending money or not. Come here and show your support. And also, we're offering BERTO a $1,000 credit line. So, BERTO, if you are interested in borrowing with the Bundle platform, we just let you know that on us, you have a $1,000 credit line. I know that's literally 3 pairs of shoes in here, or 2 pairs of shoes in here for you, so it's not the biggest deal.
That was great.
but
It's great.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, we're giving that out to BERTO, and we'd love for you guys to support BERTO's credit line on the Bundle platform. You'll see it. The username will be indicative of the store itself, so you'll see something along the lines of 9, 10. You'll see the username, but we're just letting you know that we're reaching out to help small businesses and mid-sized, large businesses in Baltimore, our local community. This is just one example of doing that.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And back to
Appreciate you having us on here.
yeah, I appreciate you coming on, BERTO.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in your call, bro. I love your drive, like I said before. You're doing your thing now. And of course, Baltimore supports Baltimore. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. It's a very special city for that reason.
Definitely.
Got to.
Definitely.
Got to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we're gonna be back here tomorrow hanging out, so it's really not a goodbye. For real.
Appreciate
He
it.
said tomorrow he'd probably be hanging out tonight.
He's on his way to Felt Point.
Bad point.
I'm sorry, Fed Point. He's on his way to
He
Fed
said
Point.
Fell Point.
Fed Point, my bad.
Shit, I'm going to Fell's Hill.
Yeah.
I'm going to Fell's Hill.
We over here right now.
Appreciate
Yeah, we
y'all.
gonna head
Definitely.
out. Yes, sir. Appreciate
Appreciate
y'all.
it.
Love y'all. As always, we're out.